Okay, guys, so game number 2 coming up. Let's go ahead and get things started right now, and take it away.
Alrighty, we have Vile State spawning as our pink Protoss. He's always the pink Protoss.
Yes,
top
indeed.
left-hand corner, Tal'Darim altar. Top right-hand corner, we once again have our red Terran, the Korean Rain Artist.
Rain Artist indeed, and proving to be quite the beast. Pretty good game there against Hash. In the very beginning, I think we were talking about that he was playing super hyper-aggressive, really wanted to take map control, almost to the fault of losing a bunch of units there at the very beginning, but it paid off for him in spades, was able to drop down those turrets, establish a defensive position, cut the map in half, and really nothing Hash could do.
I totally agree, and I think Artist realized what was happening much quicker than Hash did. Once you realize that the game is going to go into that split in half phase and that no one's really going to be able to make any kind of an offensive maneuver, I think going up to 5 base as soon as possible, dropping all those extra orbitals, I think that's what happened. He made the realization much quicker that the game was stumbling into that phase, and I think that ultimately allowed him to win the game because he invested so much more in that Air Force, freed up a lot of supply, and then
yeah, for him to have the freedom to be able to make that tech transition at the stage he did showed how good his map dominance was.
Yeah, absolutely. And then he started camping the starports, which, as all Terran players know, once your production facilities start getting camped, it's
good night.
It gets dicey from there, to say the least. Whether it be siege tanks or Vikings, both phenomenal units at camping production facilities. They have tremendous range, and they do a lot of damage, and they can kill individual units very quickly.
And you know, I'm glad I'm getting the chance to watch Artist more often, because I don't know too much about his playstyle. I try to watch him streaming when he can. We've obviously casted the games that he's done last week and this week in Team Arena, but I'm really curious to see how he handles each matchup and how close to what we consider the stereotypical Korean metagame that he actually plays to, or if he has kind of this hybrid style.
Well, I would imagine that it's definitely, right now anyways, close to that stereotypical Korean style because he's just put so much time in on the Korean ladder.
Yeah, he was, as we've said this before when we've introduced him, but he was #1 Grandmasters worldwide on several different occasions. So certainly no slouch of a player, and can't wait to see him start posting some results in Western tournaments.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's nothing to scoff at. #1 ladder worldwide is it's a really big deal. So don't think that he's just like a ladder all-star or anything like that, because once you get into like the top 10, top 20 of ladder, I mean, they're all phenomenal players.
Yeah, certainly.
I mean, it depends on the region a little bit, but #1 overall
depends on if you're Combat X or not, but yeah.
Deezer.
And
I actually played him. Did you catch that game?
No, I didn't. You tell me a little bit about I watched him play Sheth a bunch today. So Sheth just decided to mass infestors in the first game and still almost won. So
really?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I bet Deezer was real pleased with his win. I just imagine I imagine him as like a very small, petulant child with a big banana grin on his face every time he beats someone.
That's about right, though. Yeah.
I know.
No, I don't blame you.
I would love to see what him and Combat X actually look like.
I've seen Combat X. Combat X is starting to become a little more public lately.
Oh yeah,
so, yeah.
What's he look like?
He's a smaller wrestler from Canada. So
like Huck.
He's I don't know. From the pictures, he looks like he's about Huck size. So. Anyway, so here we have Artist decided to slap down 2 refineries after he won Rax FE on no gas.
And he's very open about the fact that he's a wrestler, right? Because
if
you mess with him, he'll wrestle you up.
Yeah. And he was, in Destiny, was totally going off on him stream. He's like, oh, so you were the guy who posted 12 out of 12 people in this stupid high school wrestling competition or something. It's pretty ridiculous, the amount of dirt that Destiny found on him. But anyway, here we go. It looks like 1 gate FE into 3 gate now for State. And like we were saying on the other side, Artist, even though he's come under a little bit of fire from these Stalkers, the Stalker is going to be pushed off, only getting 2 kills. He has those couple of bunkers coming up. He decided to drop down to 3 racks after the 1 racks no gas FE.
All right, so pretty standard opening here out of Artist, getting the 2 bunkers just to be extra safe. I was going to say state. State safe. Morphing in a few too many units here. Unless he's going to try and do a really early push here. I'm not sure where he's going with this.
He can't break these bunkers right
There's
now.
There's no way.
So.
There's absolutely no way. And he's taking a lot of damage on these units that he has here. A scout coming into the natural right now as State moved out with everything. Going to be able to sneak into the main, and he is going to get a full scout here. What's he going to see of importance?
Well, I mean,
oh, he stopped.
But we're at the 7-minute mark, and he doesn't see any other unit production structures. I mean, he got a pretty good scout of the base. Of course, he couldn't see any of the stuff, like if there was any structures that were hidden back here, Dark Shrine, something like that. He wasn't going to be able to get a scout on that. But he did get in here, saw all this open space, and only 3 gateways down.
So he got a decent scout. I don't think he was really paying attention to the scout once it got in the base. He just had it queued up to spot certain things that he was looking for, probably key areas of the base. But I think we're going to have a very fast third here out of state. Yeah. He's already working on the rocks. He does have his robo coming as well, so 3-gate robo into a super fast third.
Interesting. I don't know. Artis is going to be able to punish that. Like, if he catches wind of this in any way, shape, or form, or doesn't see that many units or unit-producing structures, if he decides to scout again or scans or something, he's going to be able to make a pretty powerful push. That would be tough for State to hold.
Yeah, State actually skimping on units a lot right now. He hasn't warped in another cycle for the last minute or so. He just has that small group that he opened up with. And I kind of like that out of State. It allows him to open up with a few units, apply a little bit of pressure. You've got the Terran all scared. He's making supply depots in front of his bunkers. He's not going to move out for quite some time. And that buys you enough time to potentially get up that third and, potentially get a little bit of tech out. But he is going with the tech aspect of what I just said. He's not actually getting the third just yet, though. He's going to hold off on that a little bit. And I actually really like that decision from him because I agree with you.
Yeah. He would have been punished way too bad. But if he expands behind the Colossi, that's a totally different situation. He's able to get those Colossi out, he'd neutralize a pretty good-sized bio ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Colossus great at dealing with bio, and it's going to take him a little while before he can get Vikings out. He's probably going to get 2 medevacs right away as soon as he swaps the starport onto the reactor, and then if he scouts the Colossus with his drop, which would be great for him, he can start producing Vikings very early on. Now this runs into the great conundrum that I always speak of. It's like how to balance medevacs versus Vikings, how to balance Viking numbers versus your ground army. It's a really delicate dance, and seeing that really early robo with the thermal lance upgrade going would be huge for him.
Exactly, and I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. Let's actually take a look at his vision again. It looks like he did get a little bit more scouting before. He must have dropped down a scan or something along those lines, but he wasn't able to see any of the production structures that were at the back. He does know that there are pylons back there, though. We have the pretty typical 6-gate robo. Oh, 7-gate robo off of 2 bases with Colossi tech. That is pretty adventurous economically. That's going to be difficult to support off of 2 bases alone, and expanding is going to be a necessity if he wants to go any beyond that.
Yeah, but still, yikes.
Yeah,
I mean, that's going to be a devastating push for Vile State. The question is, will Artist get wind of what's going on? He does have a factory headed over there right now. That could potentially scout out all those extra production facilities. It could also scout out that robo in the back there. Whether he will queue that up or not, we've yet to see. Does he have that robo queued up, or that factory queued up anywhere? No, it's just headed into the abyss.
And here we go. State has 1 Colossus up. It looks like he is constructing the second. The second actually took a while to get up. Needed to gather the resources after putting down those 4 additional gateways. Artist, though, he's queued up to make a pretty big push. I assume a couple of medevacs are going to be floating his way. Okay, he did actually switch over to Vikings already. I don't know if that was preemptive or if that was a reaction to what he's seen. Taking a look at his vision one more time. Oh, he did scan once again, saw the robotic space, so he's smartly switching over to at least putting a few Vikings in the air. Yeah,
very intelligent scans from Artist. Artist, one of those players, and this is one thing I've noticed for sure in our small time span of watching him, is that he will use scan in lieu of an extra mule or two, and that's the hallmark of a really, really good player. Even myself at times, I don't do that, and oh, this offensive, why are you killing his rocks for him? Don't do that, thank you.
Not even as a joke, not even as a...
Unless, he's now going to push, and he has this offensive pylon, which is a really big deal for him. He's going to have such a strong push. Great EMP goes down. Is it going to be enough? There are going to be no force fields. These 2 Colossus absolutely ripping into the bio right now, and apparently he just recycled both of those bunkers, but I still think that he may have enough to hold this. Can he get rid of that last Colossus? No, he cannot.
Oh, but it gets the last couple of shots out. Oh, wow, the missile turret was actually taking it out.
Oh, wow.
Artis pulled back to that. It was a very smart move. State is down to just Stalkers, and the Marauders are going to be able to deal with them pretty easily, especially with Stim and +1 finished.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
A couple of Zealots are left over from that push, and they are going to go down. Oh, I saw the factory over here. I didn't know if Artis had landed it, was trying to produce a few Hellions while State wasn't looking. But I've got to say, Artis, even for just drawing even in that engagement, did really, really well there. State made this huge push, was cutting workers, wasn't putting up an expansion, was just gearing up for this massive, massive push, and it didn't work out for him. He's putting up double Forge after this to support some upgrades. I think he's got to be thinking about an expansion soon. There we go. It's queued up.
Those EMPs for Artis just absolutely won him the day.
So good.
I mean, there's no doubt about it in my mind. He hit all the sentries. 2 EMPs hit virtually every unit and all the sentries. So not only did he eliminate all the energy on the sentries, he eliminated virtually all the shields for the whole army in its entirety, and that's a really, really big deal. Sometimes you'll use EMPs just to do one or the other.
Right.
And anytime you can stack your EMPs to do both, you're getting a lot more out of them than you usually would.
A lot of value for the ghosts that are there. Yeah, certainly. Looks like there are now 2 more ghosts added in the composition. He's not really producing a ton at a time, just the bare amount necessary to take out a couple of or to drop down a couple of EMPs. Here we go, though. Looks like Artis is going to cycle himself to the back. Not going to find any expansions there, though. Surprised he himself. Let's see here. I was about to say he hasn't expanded, but I look up at the production tab. Looks like there is a command center under construction. Imagine these units are going to come back and take down those rocks.
Yep, they're going to head right back over there and take down the rocks for the 3rd, which have already been weakened by State thanks to some helpful attacking of the rocks. But does he see that pylon in the back? He really needs to get rid of that, and he does. State does not want to warp in units there right now. Those are just virgin sacrifices for the entire army right there. I don't know why he threw those away, but maybe he felt like
you mentioned sacrificing the Protoss gods there.
Maybe he felt like he could get a few Marines and take them down on the way, but definitely not going to be the case. Yeah, that was odd. But his 3rd going to come up quite a bit after State's, actually. So State transitioning, out of the mid-game here into the latter part of the game pretty well. I think he's cut probes a little bit right now. I'm not sure on that, but it looks like, from the looks of things, he's not building probes on any of the Nexus anymore. Artist has been building SCVs this entire time, so he's going to pull ahead in the SCV count. Now, the question is can he put that advantage to use? If he wanted to, he should probably wait off on this attack. I don't know if that's the best idea for him right now.
Yeah, I was agreeing with you as well. I mean, if he puts up that expansion, then he establishes himself a little bit of an economic foothold. His production is going to be insane in a couple of minutes, and he should be able to pretty easily take his force somewhere across the map as well. At the moment, though, Artis does have the upgrade advantage, if only slightly. He's at 1-2 versus the 1-1 of his opponent. We do see Charge coming up now. But a little more importantly, he does have Viking weapons +1, which, of course, they do more damage to armored units, and they have double attack. So the amount of damage they deal to Colossi can be quite effective. And it looks like Artis has decided that this is the time he's going to move up, and he does pick off 1 Colossus very quickly. 2 Colossi actually going down. A 3rd is exposed, and that's going to go down from these Marauders as long as he target fires it. There it goes.
We go.
And all of the Colossi have fallen. He's landing Vikings because this is all that's left. Artis, I think, is going to be able to end the game with a push. There it is. GG.